Is money unlimited? If this topic is too much irritating to you, you can shift to another topic which will give same content, right? That is money scarce, right? In one side we are going to discuss is money scarce, or the other side is money unlimited. So for this content I have used several references, especially some books and also some teachings of some experts, right? The first thing is normal in general economics, right? I can say GCEL economics and undergraduate level knowledge that helped, and also the teachings of Professor Jiang Xing. He is a Canadian citizen but originally from China, and he is a expert on geopolitics and history. The third area that I learned is the book called Rich Dad and Poor Dad. This is by Robert Kiyosaki. So all these knowledge helped me to develop the content under the topic of is money unlimited. Do you have any idea about the prototype banks? Prototype banks. Uh, this is refers to the banks that serve the services, some services of the bank before the bank system established. We know that after the money use by the people, the banking system expanded, established and expanded. But even before that, people use some mode of some medium to exchange the goods, like sometimes cereals, sometimes gold, silver, um, for example metals. So I'm talking about at that time, the people during the people use gold or silver as the medium of trading. So this has been attracted by traders at that time, because the issue that they have faced during this international trading is carrying the metal with them, carrying the gold with them, because of the pirates, robbers, enemy kings. They didn't allow the traders travel freely. So this is unnecessary risk and burden to the traders to carry these gold with them for trading. So they really liked the option gave by the prototypes bank. This gold and silver is used by traders and kings, not mainly by the general public. So we can think that the wealthiest group use gold and silver specially to accumulate their wealth. So in general public may still use some commodities or barter system to fulfill their day-to-day requirements until the cash and notes come to the picture. So the gold and silver are used by wealthiest segment of the economy, most probably the traders and the kings, right? Let me explain one example what these prototype banks did actually with this gold. Let's say one trader called A deposited in the bank 1 million worth gold. So this is with the bank, right? This is with the bank. And instead of, in return, bank issue a contract to this A, saying that bank accepted, and the items are with the bank custody, 1 million worth of gold, and it can be released at any time requested by A to him or another party, right? That is how he can trade the contract that he has. Then the other trader comes to the bank, and what the bank is doing, ask from him whether you need money to a business, saying that yes, I need 1 million worth gold. So the bank is saying, okay, carrying 1 million worth gold is risky, so instead of giving you physical gold, we will give you a contract of 1 million. This is also 1 million contract, 1 million worth contract. So what happened? What the bank did now? So they are using the same 1 million worth gold and giving two contracts to two different traders, saying that you have 1 million with you now, you have 1 million with you now. For shortly, now the two people have together 2 million, right? So what the bank did, the multiplication of money. So this is how the banking system expand. Now the current day, what the banks are doing is the same thing, using the deposits of savings accounts and the current accounts, not the current account, mainly the fixed deposits. So they are using that deposits to invest in more cases and earn money for the bank. So what happen if those two come in the same day, same time, and request their 1 million? This person said, now I have a deal, so as per your promise, you give me that loan today, 1 million. And this person saying, right, I have given you 1 million worth of gold physically, I want it back. So what the bank should do? the bank now in theory bankrupt. Why? Now this is more than their income. Their responsibilities are more than their uh, income. So what the bank is doing, instead of uh, it's collapsing, no, it bank systems never collapse. What they are doing is they are networking to other banks in the system, and they will settle those two at the same time as requested by the depositors or the customer. So the bank system itself surviving and saving their own banks. That is why earlier the banks established by the same family, same group of friends. We call them as a cartel, yeah, cartel banks. Now, because sometimes a brother is in, brother is elder brother is maintaining a bank in London, and the younger brother is make maintaining a bank in Italy. Like that, how they have expanded is earlier the families are engaging in bank system, but it has changed later. So because of this system, banking network system, and now there is another regulatory part coming, like central bank. The central banks also now come into the picture and doing the regulation. Because of these systems, bank not going to collapse frequently, and collapsing is happening, but it rarely, because the other banks coming and helping the bank to survive up to some extent, because they want to, they are their competitors. Even today the bank to bank is competitive banks, but they have to maintain the trust, the confidence of the customer. So they are not going to damage that reputation. So that is how the bank works. So what happened to the theory that you learn under economics? The resources are scarce. Now you have seen what the banks are doing. They are multiplicating the money, and they are, using the money uh, and the deposits to, do a lot of businesses. So using this example, you still believe money is scarce? So if we assume money is unlimited, money is unlimited, you can ask another question from me. Then why poverty is exist in the world? Why the poverty is exist? That's a question anyone should ask when we say money is unlimited. Now, answering to this question, the statement is some, this is a controversial statement when we say poverty poverty is maintained. This is the statement or answer that we can provide if a person asks if the money is unlimited, why the poverty is exist in the world. Yes, poverty is exist not for recent years, but throughout the history. Throughout the history, poverty is maintained. Even today, at the time that countries are achieving highest economic development, achievement, everything, poverty is exist. Even in USA, they have homeless people and beggars. Poverty is exist in the world because poverty is maintained. Then, who is maintaining poverty? The answer is not only rich man. We can say powerful people. Powerful people in powerful countries. It makes sense to you? Let's see how this is happening. You know, I think you may have heard about economics cycles. Those cycles are like this, right? This is a climax, and this is recessions. So going up, going down, going up, going down. There was always economic downfall or recession every after accumulation of huge wealth among general public or in general. I'm not talking about the rich people. You go and analyze with statistics when the majority of the people are starting growing and coming to a climax, accumulating wealth. What these powerful people and nations are doing, you know they are going they are collapsing. They are collapsing the economy and come towards downfall. Then the rich people who rich from poor again, you know going down. And the powerful rich people, a certain powerful group of people is surviving still surviving. So this is happening. You analyze each um, incident or the incident or the immediate incident cause recessions, maybe world wars, maybe kind of a pandemics. People say that sometimes pandemic may be due to human actions, right? So these things are happening when the economies are in the climax. So this is the way of controlling the economies. So let's discuss in another angle. Someone can ask, if money is unlimited, Why can't we distribute that money among the poor people, and make them rich? Can we do that? Here, the economists are coming to picture and saying a more popular statement like, when the people get more money, it will lead more demand and less supply. Then it creates the price level high, and there is a high inflation. So now the economists are saying you know a dangerous picture in general, saying that you should economy should not have excess money. So money supply need to be controlled. That is what economists are saying, right? Is it true? Is it a genuine effort? Let's wait. Now, what Karl Marx said, in communism, we learn about Karl Marx. What Karl Marx said. Karl Marx, in his theory nutshell, what he said, there is a long time conflict between two classes: the classes who own labor, the lower class, the class who has the ownership of the resources, like lands, properties, money, those things. So between those two classes there is a long term conflict, and there is a point that the labor, or we can say employee, is coming up and all other things going down, and make the communists, equity among the society. That is in nutshell what Karl Marx said. So is it true? Is it true in really context? In fact, it was right for certain period. That is why the capitalist country like USA, Britain, and France, and other key countries uh, gave priority to employ in certain time period of their history. So they created employee-led societies, you know, worker-led society. But in 1970s and 80s, again, this has been collapsed during the time of presidents like Ronald Reagan, Margaret Thatcher in Britain. Even in Sri Lanka, we had Mr. J.R. Jayawardene as our president. What they did, they shifted the country from uh, labor-centered, employee-centered economies to consumer-centered economies. Right? In Sri Lanka, we get open economy in 1977. What that means? The people who has money can consume anything. Anything can be imported from other countries and consumed. So who is the hero? Consumer is the hero, not the employee. So that is how the communism uh, uh, decayed, right? We know in Sri Lankan situation, 1970, there was a government that social, the Sirimao Bandaranaike's government. Lot of factories opened, everything focused on based on workers, employees. So what had happened after 77? Everything collapsed, and overnight the policy changed into you know open economic concept. So that's mean consumer based economy. We can say consumerism. So in theory, if the consumer is the god, the religion is consumerism. But is it true? No. The actual god is not the consumer but the businessman, the supplier, or the rich community. Because of the consumerism, they get more money. That's what happened. So if we come back to our original point, if the money is unlimited, if we give money to poor, what will happen? Because of this consumerism that we explained, again that money go and stop in the pockets of powerful people. Consumerism. That is why the people were you know provided opportunity to consume lot and addict sometimes to brands, saying that if they have excess money, what they will do is they will buy those brands, and again the money go and stop in the pockets of those brand owners, right? So that will happen even though you give the excess money to the poverty people. So who promotes consumerism in nowadays? No country, no particular country, no particular person, but all the social media, starting from TikTok, Facebook, right, Instagram, you name any social media, what they are doing is promote consumerism. You buy new pair of shoes, you buy new pair of trousers, you buy a ring, you buy a car, you buy a house, you go out for a dinner with your family. What you are doing? You're posting posts in social media. So the people who are going down the screen in their mobile phones want these things in their lives as well. So they are working, earning money. What they are doing? Consumerism. They want to consume. So they earn money to buy a iPhone. So they have earned money to buy a car. So all these promotions are doing by social media. That is the most important thing that we have to understand. I'm going to conclude my content. Number one is money is not scarce. Money is not scarce, at least as you think it's not scarce. So we'll not say it's unlimited because it's hard to believe. So you believe that at least money is not scarce as we think. Okay, that's the first conclusion. The second one, you can try, you can work towards, but poverty, poverty cannot be eradicated. That is the second conclusion of my lesson. You try your level best as a decision maker, policy maker, politician, or any social worker. You try. That's good. But In the practical point of view, the experience of the people has so far, poverty cannot be eradicated completely because we we learn it's maintained, right? The third one is employee replaced with consumer. You may be employee in an organization, can be a laborer, you can be employee, professional, anyone. That is not important. But when you come a consumer, you are important. Okay, that's the third conclusion. Because of that, because of three, number four, what's that? Consumerism. Consumerism makes rich more richer, poor more poor. We can say poorer. See what's happening because of the consumerism. Okay, that is why this Rich Dad and Poor Dad book is very important. Try to read it, especially if you are a young person and you starting your career. uh, you're you're starting the career as well as starting your new life with a partner. You have to read this concept. And if you are a parent who looking after a kid and giving instruction to a kid, you have to read this Rich Dad and Poor Dad. Author is Robert Kiyosaki. My fifth conclusion is poverty is maintained. This is linked with the second one. Poverty cannot be eradicated because poverty is maintained. Now the sixth one is poor can jump to rich cluster. Poor can be a rich person. This is not a new thing. Lot of poor people become rich. How? If you follow anti consumerism practices, if you can control your emotions, if you can go against the promotions of the social media, there is a chance that you become rich. Not only that, right? Not only that, you have to create money like the banks did, small amount of money, but they are multiplied it. So if you want to become rich, that's what you have to do as well. You have to save and invest. So this is how you can change your circle. If you are in the circle poor, only if you only work against consumerism and do investment and make more passive income, or income, you have more chance to go for a rich cluster. So that's the conclusion of the micro learning. This is new areas that we talk about, related to economics and geopolitics, and also some history, and also some commercial topics like banking as well. So we'll meet with another important an interesting session very soon. Thank you.